Turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. FNatic's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team FNatic's turn to ban.
Best of 3 series between FNatic and Adroit. It is MLP Donor John expired. John, game number 1, FNatic, they took that rather convincingly. Did not look like it was whatsoever. Game number 2, I'd like to ask the side of Adroit need to do differently this time around.
I think they've got to get their priorities right. We saw that early on in game 1. They were hunting around jungle trying to suss out where Savage was on the Alchemist. They were trying to shut down his farm in that jungle. They kind of left him alone afterwards, and it really depends on what FNatic want to do, depending on what heroes they pick, but Adroit has got to find these priority targets, shut them down, and try to get equal farm distribution on their own. Like, they had Bok in a pretty free lane, like he was having a really good time up top. Wasn't quite enough. I think you want a hero, in this case, that does give you a lot of impact very early on. I don't think that was the Bristleback in that case. In the last game, it felt like it didn't have too much. It was there, it was in front, it did take some time to die, and it could secure some stuff for them early on, but it couldn't quite do enough. Fortunately for Adroit, FNatic themselves banned out the L. They are in no way going to first pick that, because they have challenged themselves to not pick it again.
Well, I guess it's because perhaps because they're not going to have the Chen available to them this time. Maybe they... Oh, no.
My God.
Okay. Alright. Here we go. Adroit will respond with an Enigma. Beautiful picks from Adroit. Clockwork as well. FNatic, how dare you? How dare you bring this atrocity out for us to have to view?
I believe we had a request earlier on as well, somewhere in the lobby, where, you know, not requesting no techies because tired of 2R games. FNatic, you're like, well, we're not going to listen to you. We don't need to listen. We get to play what we want, and techies comes out. Oh, this could... Funny enough, we were talking about techies way earlier on in the day. Excuse me. Techies... The only person who has fun when a techies is there is the techies player. So, FNatic, if you end up being bored of this game, you have no one to blame but yourselves.
True. Very, very true. AUI 2000, the one to really have that statement being made by himself. FNatic, they will follow up with an Ember Spirit, which is something that's much more, you know, I dare say normal? Is that the word to use here? Much more normal for FNatic and for anybody else. You know, I believe, you know, you did mention FNatic have chosen the techies before during the BTS Pro Series. I wasn't there to watch the game, however. I don't know what they're intending to do with this, John. Do you have any idea what the point of this pick is?
Well, one big factor is, of course, the psychological bit that it does get into. Another thing is, I believe that's going to be DJ's hero.
Okay.
I mean, they could make it Ice if he... Sounds like the kind of hero Ice would play, but his name they picked up, it was DJ playing it. We could see that coming out here. Just a very solid kind of position for... We all know what the techies does. It's disgusting at what it does. It's highly effective at being disgusting. It's revolting. But it can get that done. It can be a complete nuisance in the lane, and can really stall out the game. Now,
10 seconds.
They're going to be highly effective against Adroit's opening, which they jumped into quite confidently, the Enigma Clockwork. You know, that's going to be really potent in team fights, really potent in the lane as well. and quite strong in the push. The Enigma just naturally pushes out quite nicely. FNatic does have a decent response for the Ember Spirit. Once you have a Maelstrom up, you can kind of clear out those Eidolons quite fine. But the Clockwork will ensure that they can always kind of keep a number on where the Techies is planting mines, if you just scout around the entire map, just tossing those flares out, or where the Ember is before a fight, scout them out that way. Is a bit of a response there from Adroit. They have a way of balancing out these picks from FNatic.
You know, the thing is, John, every time we've seen an Enigma be picked up, usually there's a Rubik on the other side. With this position 4 Techies, if we're going to continue to assume it is a POS 4, it doesn't really leave space for a Rubik unless you want to run a POS 5 Rubik in the FNatic lineup, which is possible. Is it not rather important to have that spell steal up against this Enigma pick from Adroit? Because otherwise it feels like it's just a free black hole once you have the BKB up.
Yeah, that's definitely something that FNatic should consider, but as you mentioned, the space to fit that Techies in is a bit tight. Of course, they do pick up the Pangolier next, so it does look like we are kind of locked in to the support Techies here. Which means, I mean, you could still go with a Rubik, just really shaft that Techies into a less farm role. I don't think it's going to shine there. Or give Jabs a Rubik. I believe he does play pretty solid Rubik, but DJ plays a really solid Rubik as well, so it's really hard to say who gets what in that case. The one thing for Adroit is that Enigma doesn't tend to go for those black holes early on. So even if you do go for the Rubik, you're not going to be getting any black hole anytime soon, because Enigma the Eidolons focus on the Midnight Pulse and the stun you can get from Malphus. And that's basically it for the most part. So it takes a while until you start to see that come out, but just having a Rubik on hand to ensure that you can kind of turn it around is a pretty nice thing to have. Adroit, they do go with the Nature's Prophet and the Riki, so they have really insane push now with the NP and the Enigma, great global presence with the Clock NP, and the Riki's just a massive nuisance to have to play against, right? So you have these ways now of taking the fight to FNatic. You still worry about those summons being cleared out by the Ember Spirit. Key timing is going to be that Maelstrom. Even a Pangolier can kind of deal with that quite fine. So whether or not you're going to get full value from those pushes is put up in the air.
I don't know what to say anymore. You know, it's hard to comment on drafts when there's a Techies in the game. Because it feels like everything just kind of gets ruined. You know, like everything you knew about Dota no longer exists. It's just a brand new game now. I don't know what to say. I mean, I like the picks from Adroit. I think they're fantastic. Does it matter? I don't know. Because there's a Techies in the game. This isn't really a Dota 2 here. I don't know what it is. It's just there.
Well, on the other hand, like Adroit, but their summons can mine clear quite nicely. Right. The proximity mines aren't going to be living for long, so there it is. That's Adroit's big brain game plan. Toss those summons away on the Techies. You don't need to worry about proximity mines when your summons will die for you.
Fair enough. That is actually that's a fair strategy going into this. FNatic, what do you follow up with? This fourth pickup now, we're still waiting for another support pick unless they're planning to run a support Pangolier, which is highly doubtful with the Techies.
Dire team
FNatic,
back.
again, can let the reserve time tick out quite far, and they're going to go for the Bristleback. So there's some nice wave clear with that Bristle, and you know, Bristle doesn't really take long to get online. We did see it in game 1, however, being played, I believe it was Bok, and he got free farm. It just didn't mean anything, but to be, you know, in all fairness, that was up against an Alchemist, and I guess that's a little bit different.
Turn to ban.
So, Adroit, they do ban out the Keeper of the Light. They don't want to, obviously, they don't want to give that away. That would be too free of a game for FNatic if that did happen. Big follow up here.
The big part of... Well, the big factor for that Bristleback for FNatic is you take away the potency of the Riki. He wants to backstab, but Bristleback loves getting his back punished, so you're not going to be seeing that action work out too well for Adroit's core. I can see the logic, because they have excellent wave clear already. Ember Spirit Pangolier, they clear faster than the Bristleback would. This is really much more of a targeted pick towards the Riki, just mitigating the damage he can.
Fnatic. They have one final pick. We still have no idea how these lanes are being run. Still very, very open for Fnatic. You know, I don't want to say they look like weak lanes, but they do kind of look a bit weakish. Do they really just finish off with a pos 5 pick? Is that what we're doing?
I think they have to. There's I mean, they could go something funky Pangolier support. Do that. I don't want that. They could go with the Ember Spirit support. I've heard mumblings about that. I really do not want to witness. Honestly, they go with Bounty Hunter. All right.
So we still don't know what's going on. I mean, who's the pos 5?
No one and everyone is a pos 5, and I think when you have all these heroes that require so much farm, right? Like Techies is going to want to accelerate his farm. Ember Spirit, Pangolier, Bristleback, all want farm. Bounty Hunter says, don't farm creeps, farm heroes. Here, I'm going to mark them for you.
10 seconds.
And it gives you a good way of tracking that Ricky as well. So I like that last pick. This is a great pickup from Adroit, though. The Storm Spirit comes out. There is nothing from Fnatic to keep him in place. They're going to have to get DJ on top with a Suicide for the silence, or get that stasis trap on, or always land those chains. But I can see Mac just zipping in and out. No problems in this game.
What is this game? A position 5 Pangolier is the pickup here for Jabs. Look, I've seen position 4 Pangos, no problem. A position 5? That's
the totem pole. And with how Techies is, you know, with how Techies is, that's more than likely going to feel like position 6, most part.
True. I mean, you do, with Techies, if you plan to kind of use it effectively, you do want to get a very quick Aghanim Scepter, because that's when he becomes very strong. Not that I played Techies, John. I played a couple times, about, you know, maybe 6-7 years ago, when I was a very sick person back then.
I only played like Dota 1 Techies, yeah. All the way back. Those were fun days. Like, no one knew what was happening. People died and rage quit from Garena. It would suck if the host rage quit. Like, you'd be done.
At least you could quit, John. There was no punishment back then. If a Techies joined, it was like, forget about it. I'm out of this game. Nobody would even blame me for leaving.
Oh man. Gonna be interesting to see how Adroit play this one. Like, it's gonna be fairly straightforward for them. Right? Their strategy isn't too wild. It's not revolutionary, mind-bending, and paradigm shifting. This is a straightforward draft from Adroit. They've got great push potential. They've got the summons to deal with those proximity mines. Just toss those sacrificial minions into the mines, have them die instead. Deal with the afterlife that DJ. But on the other hand, Fnatic, you know, we talked about all their heroes needing farm. You have to remember, Techies can infinitely delay the game. Like, he can just have everyone get the farm up by just never having the game end. So I don't think farming's even going to be a major issue. He just needs the XP.
Well, that's great to hear, John. I've got homemade lasagna and homemade pizza waiting for me for dinner. Now we've got a Techies in the game, which it's just fantastic. I don't want to eat anyway. Fine, I'll just starve here watching this very entertaining hero that is Techies. Fnatic gonna take the outpost and CML.
Cool roots and run.
Get slapped by Ice. DJ does have the blast off available. You're always going to be a little bit careful about where the Techies is. DJ already looking for that opportunity.
The battle begins.
CML going to lose quite a bit of his HP just to Ice. That'll be enough of that. Fnatic, they back off. They take their bounties. It'll be a 2-for-2 trade. And now the more interesting start begins, with is how you lane this draft. It is going to be a Bounty Hunter Techies off lane. Well,
that sounds fantastic. Absolutely game-breaking combination from Fnatic. Never seen that done before. Of course, DJ has his work cut out for him. At the, you know, Ice does have ways of just what?
Yeah, okay. All right, that was a bit of an early blast off DJ. I'm not sure about that one, and he's probably gonna die. He eats a fairy fire, and he's dead. Okay, he is dead.
Was he trying to land a long-range shot onto Natsumi? Because
I don't know. I thought at first maybe he was trying to force the creep wave in and eventually would push back out thanks to the tier 1 tower. The problem is you have CML there with the trees, so he can't just go all the wave. He's doing it again! And he connects on both, to be fair. It's a lot of damage. You know what, John? Let's have a quick look at the other lanes, because this lane's going to be a bit crazy. You can already tell as Mac and Moon are going to be in the mid lane on the Storm Ember. Bit of a repeat matchup in the mid and just the other way around. And of course, bot lane, you'll see Boomy there on the Enigma. He'll be jungling for a bit as Jabs will just be following him down as the Pangolier. And Bok will be on the off lane Clockwork up against 23 Savage, who will be playing that position 1 Bristleback. But don't worry about those lanes. We're back to the top lane. What is DJ up to? He's stacking. Good support.
I mean, he doesn't really have presence beyond just blasting off. And there's really not too much kill potential. I mean, you have level 2 on ice now. So with the Shuriken toss, you could probably clean up, but I think they're going to be waiting for level 3 to get the damage out.
Oh,
there you go.
Gets Shuriken toss. Nice body blocks for a second from DJ. That's it. That'll be it for another 35 seconds. I'm off. Back to the jungle for me. Well, actually, he's level 2 now, so he can get some mines down. And looks like he'll actually stick around in the laning phase. CML gonna continue to spam out those treants, just preemptively getting ready for those mines to be dropped. Meanwhile, mid, Jabs a huge courier snipe, taking out the Storm Spirit courier, and that actually had the bottle on it, so that is a pretty big deal for this mid lane.
It's not going to be easy for Mac to sustain himself up against me. He's a full level behind. It's just about hit for himself, but his mana pool is completely drained out. Doesn't have any region left. Moon is going to be entirely happy with how that rotation from Jabs does pay off.
Oh, Savage. Going down solo to Bok. Jabs, he tried to come in and help at the last seconds, but that level 2 battery assault, it does a lot of damage. With only 1 level in Bristleback, there's not really much you can do to avoid it from Bok.
Definitely. It's not the easiest lane for the Bristle. Like, he can kind of do damage to Clock, but at the same time, the Clock can do the exact same thing. Clockwork is fairly tanky as a hero. He has a pretty nice high HP. He's not the easiest guy to bully out, especially when he has a magic stick in. At the least, you know, Savage is going to be back in reset. He has the Soul Ring up, but you really don't want to be dying solo like that, Clock.
Bok's already hit that level 5 mark now as well. He's getting a lot of levels. With the Clockwork, when you get a lot of levels going, he becomes a real problem. He's currently out-leveling Savage. See what Bok does with all that experience. It's not quite the same deal with Ice Ice Ice. He's only sitting at level 3 on the Bounty Hunter. It's kind of to be expected, as he can't really get close to really soak XP or get any farm when CML is there with the Nature's Prophet. We'll always just harass him out with the treants. Well, wouldn't you know it, John? DJ has rejoined the lane. Has blast off, though it doesn't have the mana. Does pop a mine down. Doesn't really do anything as the treants are just playing around with the mine. Does get a creep for himself, which is always nice.
I mean, DJ is basically just stacking up for himself. He's been clearing the camps himself with his mines, so he's finding some good farm. I think the key thing here for FNatic is to ride through this really rough early game. The only lane they're really winning out on is mid, and even then Mac is just super active, finding some kills onto Jabs already.
Well, Mac, he'll find a solo kill onto Jabs, and that'll make it a 0-3. Adroit finding the kill lead for now. A lot of questionable plays, I'm not going to lie about that. But Pango just way out of position, trying to chase down the Enigma and just force Boomy not to be able to freely farm. Boomy is getting relatively close though to the hood of the... now I forgot the name of the other. The Helm of the Dominator is what I was looking for. He's very close to the Helm of the Dom. Once you get that up, Boomy can start making a couple rotations with this Enigma and start trying to make plays across the map if he's so
Savage. Trouble.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yes, he is bot. Again, level 3 battery assault now, and there's just, you know, the bristleback just doesn't do that much when you're getting battery assaulted like that, and Bok will give him the tip.
Radiant's top tower is
Look,
under
their lanes
attack.
are really weak here from FNatic. Adroit is exploiting that quite well. They are winning out on the side lanes. Their mid lane has gone a bit rough, but they have found a couple of kills for themselves. If they can keep that pace, then it's going to be hard for FNatic to play catch-up, although DJ just TP's out in front of them.
Well, they haven't really got any stuns up at the top lane. It's not too hard to just TP out. Adroit. I guess they just keep farming. Natsumi, he's having a borderline free time. 40 and 10 on the Rick. He hasn't died once yet.
Radiant are scanning.
Has obviously had a bit of gold being stolen from Ice with that Janata strike, but not too much. Regardless of the kills happening on Savage, he's sitting at the top of the net worth board by about 3k. Stacking for himself now as well in the jungle, and of course he can clear those up quite quickly with all the quill sprays coming out.
This does give some space to Jab. Yeah, give some space to Jabs to get his farm up, get his EXP. He was stuck at level 1 for a long time. With the space he has now, he is at level 2. Doesn't want to really force the issue against a level 7 clock, though. Bit of a risk there for our level 2 Peng.
Radiant's top tower.
I guess he can always just swashbuckle away. That's probably why he just soak XP, trying to control the creeps, though Bok. He's moving forward and does have hook shot. Bok is also having a rotation come in from CML, so they are going to go for time, just waiting for Jabs to commit the hook.
Oh no.
Oh, that was a treant block on the hook shot, and now they look to turn this around. Jabs, he is fairly low, but with Moon around on the Ember and a double damage rune active, CML is certainly going down. At least they do end up getting the clockwork out of there. Bok will successfully TP out in time.
Under attack.
That is an unsuccessful gank and an unsuccessful first hook shot of the game. So, Savage gonna get jumped on by Matt. Midnight Pulse gonna come in and they will be able to secure another Pos 1 kill on that Bristle.
Gonna be very happy with that Adroit. And to, in the end, find the kill they wanted. Take out Savage and is not really having as much of a free time. I mean, he's died 3 times, but he is still number 2 in that word. Kind of sharing that space with his Ember Spirit Moon. Although this will allow Adroit to come in and start their own push. They have a lot of summons from Boomy. Does have the Black Hole as well if needed, but looks like they will just cleanly take this tier 1 down bot, giving us the first tower of the game.
Tower is under attack.
Alright, well there it is. First tower gone. Ice can't really return the favor on the Bounty Hunter. He's a Bounty Hunter after all, so he's just gonna continue to try and keep the creep wave pushed out. In fact, he's helping DJ farm up now, dragging it back into the neutrals. And kind of makes you laugh how DJ's getting a bit of farm priority in this top lane. Like, sure, Ice is still able to secure the big creeps, but DJ, just with those mines, is still taking quite a lot himself. And you know, Adroit is just gonna kind of ignore them. And they'll continue to just push out towers, like Mac, he forces the mid wave in.
Middle tower is under attack.
In fact, never mind, they're done with ignoring them. Bok, he's making his way up. They see the stacks, they look to take him, and Mac will say thank you very much. It's a fair bit of gold just going to the way of the storm and the clock.
Just a lot of farm bleeding away here from FNatic. Adroit finally playing that jungle. Like seeing that. It is a major issue they had in game 1 where they weren't enough. They're going to be slowing down FNatic just a touch as they also go for the runes.
Nice hook shot out. Boss. Going towards that neutral camp and just ensuring they can't get any free kills. That's fair enough. Still buys a bit of time for Jabs on that Pos 5 Pango to just keep freely farming up the bot lane. And FNatic,
Dire's top tower is under attack.
they still have their hands full up at this top lane, trying to force it out, and they do finally get the tier 1. And now perhaps they try to make a play onto Moon. We do have Boomy rotating in, and there's the Vortex. Black Hole will also be committed, and no one's around to cancel that off. That'll mean Moon does end up going down, and the kill will go to the Mac on the Storm Spirit.
Really good pickoff going the way of the...
They're going to rotate in. They want to fight this without the Black Hole, but this is still a very hard team fight to take, considering you don't really have much team fight, though Jabs. He does have Rolling Thunder. Now the Blast-Off does connect, and they are at least going to find CML here on the Prophet. They will take him. Now these tracks flying out as Bok does get DJ on the techies. They'd love to find his Clockwork, but he is a rather tanky target. In fact, Ice. Going to get jumped on by Mac. They'll take down another. And Savage just can't do anything.
Just not enough coming out from our Bristol. In fact, they might find Bok in exchange.
Hookshot is out. Bok is still very tanky. He has a very high
nice
armor.
blocks.
Yeah, the Helm of the Dominator creep just blocking away, so Bok does walk out safely. Oh boy. A 2-8 now, 1k net worth lead for Adroit, and FNatic, they are still grouping mid once again.
Want to keep going. I think they really need that tier 1 to give themselves some more control. They are playing heavily in the jungle. Just want to take this access point away from Adroit. Give themselves a bit of an easy time here.
Sure, but it's really not that easy.
It's not a fast push.
No.
It's a very slow push.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under
Rolling Thunder, gonna be popped. Who are they going for? They might have to just settle on Bok, though no, they will avoid Bok at all costs as well as Mac. So Rolling Thunder's down, and perhaps if you're Adroit, you want to take a team fight. A Hookshot, Bok gets a nice cogs up as well, that'll secure Ice.
Radiant's bottom.
FNatic, I mean, they get some decent damage onto that tier 1 hit, but they are throwing bodies for this, and it'll only really increase the net worth that Adroit has.
Definitely. They've again put themselves a 2-9, 1k lead for Adroit. Not the biggest lead, mind you, but it is still a fairly good start for Adroit on the Dire side. Really gonna need to build up on their Riki as this game goes on. A lot of their farm is on their Storm, which is great. He already has his Kaya up, Mac working towards his Soul Booster first, and then it looks like he might transition Orchid next. Gonna have a little bit more tankiness and a lot more utility as the game goes on. Gonna need that space to farm up, but the team has been doing a fantastic job in getting that space for its Storms.
FNatic now smoke up, Jabs and Moon. Gonna make their way through that Dire jungle, get Rolling Thunder. Being cancelled off, Jabs still thinking about it. They do have vision with that Observer Ward and Vortex mid lane. Savage going to be the target as they do start fighting in the Dire jungle, but Bok gets a very nice cogs off. Now the Rolling Thunder does come out, but the hookshot dodge. Bok will just get away from them as Savage is dying alone in the mid lane. And FNatic will find nothing for their pos 1 dying like that. In fact, Adroit may still keep going. Can they? They can. It's a 4v5 situation. A zip. DJ does get hurt by that. In fact, Jabs is the main priority target of Swapango. Now they may settle for Moon, and Black Hole will come out, catching 2 of them. Boomy. He will set up for Ice to DJ, and Adroit. Another successful team fight. It extends their net worth lead to 3k. You know, I can't really say I'm impressed by this, John. The draft from FNatic is just so weird. How do you take a team fight with this draft?
You really don't. Savage is not at the point where he can stand in the middle, do the damage, and have everyone really focus him down with no effect. He doesn't do enough damage. Working towards finishing up a Radiance after whatever he's working next. Looks like a Vanguard first. And once that's up, perhaps he can start to have a bit more presence. The issue is, it doesn't feel like there's enough time to get that done. Adroit has been constantly applying that pressure. He might be on to Moon next. He does have Remnants.
Yeah, they won't have Black Hole available either, so they may not risk trying to go for the Ember kill. FNatic gotta decide on something. Like, they're buying time, but for what? You haven't really got the most amazing late game presence. You look over to Natsumi on the Riki, he's got his defusal up pretty darn soon. In fact, I believe he has enough gold, and yeah, he'll buy it outright. Hook shot. They do find jams once again. And Moon is sticking around, but again, they don't have the black hole. They won't be able to hold him down long enough, and Moon is suddenly on a cliff as he will just TP back to the fountain now.
DJ has not leveled up mines, so he's just planting a lot of proximity mines. He doesn't have the remote mine up and running.
In all fairness, at level 1, they are kind of crappy. Like, they're not really that good at level 1.
I would could at least force some investments in the sentries, but stave off push them.
Mid lane back, we'll jump in onto Savage. Spirit Vessel will be there from Bok. They will not continue the engagement. So there's plenty of tracks coming out from Ice. Still though, Riki Natsumi, he will jump in, and they do clear out Moon with the smoke screen just holding him down. In fact, oh, that's a lot of mine damage coming out onto Mac. He's got to be careful about that. And FNatic, it looks like they were trying to maybe make a bait play, but they really want that tier 1 tower. And they will continue to just throw bodies over and over again at the side of Adroit. It does get denied off, but they get what they wish for. The tower is down.
That should allow FNatic to play a little bit more further forward, maybe invade that jungle if they really wanted to.
Hook shot. Bot, he's found Savage. Spirit Set Vessel is there. Umi, there is going to be a huge blast off, but it only adds to the kills going to the way of Adroit. And Boomy has Black Hole in 8 seconds.
Gonna have to give out this objective. They cannot defend that tier 1. And FNatic are just steadily losing ground here. They're losing net for it, losing ground. They haven't really maximized this bounty hunter as well. They haven't found too many track kills. They've only had 2 kills the entire of this game. 17 on the way of Adroit. They haven't really maximized any escalate here. They're gonna have to stall this game out a lot longer if they're looking at Savage to get bigger and for the farm to start trickling into.
But what is Savage gonna do later on a Bristleback? Like up against the Storm Spirit, even the Riki and Prophet, like what are you intending to do?
I think the main focus is to try to get just really big and be the central focal point for Adroit. Like he already is, and he's just kind of burning away. They just really need to start tanking him up. Hope that he reflects enough close space damage on the walk.
Huge hook shot coming in. 2-man cogs. DJ immediately being wiped off the face of the earth, and they will find jams again. Savage trying to fight. A nice chains comes out from Moon. Bok is getting very close to dying, and Savage, he does manage to pick him up. You can't forget those are track kills, so these do mean a lot more. Now Moon, he gets the chains off. Shuriken tosses is bouncing around. Boomy coming in for a black hole. He does find 2 of them. There's nothing to cancel it off, and with that, they will clear out the other 2. And so Adroit still end up winning out the team fight in the end. There is going to be a buyback coming up from the clock. And you know what, John? I say Adroit won, but the goal change does favor FNatic.
I mean, they're so far behind, and a lot of those were track kills going their way, so a lot of that is stacking up onto Ice. Does have a good amount on him, should be finishing up his mech in a bit. It's like 600 gold away, which normally wouldn't be an issue. Have bled a lot of ground that I'm not sure if he's going to be able to find that 600 gold in a quick manner. Long either way. Gonna have a little bit more durability there on FNatic's side, and did force out the black hole use. Don't have to worry about that in the upcoming fights. There is a blink on Boomy, so the next time the black hole is up.
Hooks in by himself, just trying to save that outpost, but it was already taken. Still, they take Ice. I mean, Bok literally hooked into 5 of them by himself, and it just didn't matter. They still got a kill.
FNatic is just not in position to take these fights. Even if the Clockwork just goes in by himself, there's just so much going on with the course of Adroit that FNatic cannot match up with whatever they have right now.
We'll see a smoke coming out from FNatic. What's the game plan? They've got a double damage on. Okay. Plenty of damage. CML getting caught out. You don't have track available right now. You'd love Ice to get in range, and they're actually going to wait. They don't want to let this CML die. Now they will. I love how CML was actually running towards the Flame Guard, trying to get the death off before he gets tracked. It does not work out. Still, Adroit maintain a 10k net worthly. They're looking very, very good.
Definitely. They've corrected a lot of the issues they had in game 1. They're hunting a lot more in this jungle. They haven't given any room to breathe for Savage. He's still trying to farm up, has changed his priorities towards a Lotus Orb, just for that added durability and a bit of a purge there. So once that's up, he can kind of stand in front a bit more, but his damage is still not going to be great. Radiance would have really helped out. The timing's way off for that. You really generally try to aim for a 20-minute Brad. It's just way too slow coming out from FNatic.
The seeds are for.
Well, everyone else on Adroit is just farming great. Like, it's all fine and dandy on Adroit's side of things. In fact, they're farming even better than good. It's really, really darn great. FNatic, smoke up. As for, they don't want to back off. They want to keep this aggression up. Mac will ball lightning away. He'll be fine. DJ continues to place mines as he goes.
Haste!
They are pinging out Boomy and CML. Ice does scout them out, and now the Rolling Thunder will come through. Who can they actually go on? They actually got the Clockwork. Still, Bok is going to be completely fine, and now the Vortex in the back lines. That's DJ, he's gone. A double chains is there in the Roshan pit, but the side of FNatic are starting to fall apart as the black hole comes out, but it only really catches Jabs. Ice, can you survive this? Well, it's all about Savage right now, who continues to try and man fight up against 5, but he's going to die, and with his death, the rest of FNatic will go along with him.
No whining now.
And that'll make it a 5-27, and we may as well have a look at Dota Plus's win probability right now. And it's currently sitting at 95% the way of Adroit.
There's a 5% chance for FNatic here. I want to point out a couple of things. Adroit in that last fight, you saw Jabs getting the Rolling Thunder off onto Bok. He was trapped in the cogs, but out of cogs by the Rolling Thunder, so fortunately that can work against you. You can't permanently trap Bok working in the cogs. Did go out, and that did lead to him surviving. No one really dropping from Adroit. FNatic, once again, losing all of your heroes for really nothing. At the least, you have DJ with the remote mines. He has a way of kind of stalling this game out if they lose their objectives and start to look at making this game unwinnable.
Well, DJ continues to place mines across the map. Got that going for him. You still do have the Treants coming out from CML, and he's clearing out those remote mines. Or rather, the proximity mines. DJ will continue getting those mines down, though. He's not dissuaded by these traders. What talent do you even go for on a techies at level 10? Like, do you just grab the -4 second cooldown on the proximity mines?
I think the cooldown is much more value. You're not going for battling techies. I mean, DJ has been around. I wouldn't consider that battling, though. Not been very effective. Oh, Matt.
Just jumps in, grabs Moon on the Ember. Meanwhile, Bok, they are trying to grab him, but Bok will be fine. Now Mac jumping in after DJ, cleans that one up, and he has felt Savage, although that's a lot of damage from those proximity or remote mines. It isn't going to matter. They will survive it, and they will clear them out once again. Savage still trying to fight by himself. It's going to mean nothing. The only man to survive is Ice, because he's trying to lead them into more mines. But about to fall, he'll get the kill on the Clockwork, but he's going to give his own life away.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, FNatic is really behind. 6 to 32, 25 and a half minutes in, 18k net worth deficit. This should allow Adroit to at least take this tier 2 mid and perhaps start looking around the map for more objectives. Look at the Roshan. It hasn't been taken yet. It's still off. They could easily take. There are no mines from. So this is probably the perfect time to take it before any sort of mining occurs.
Well, Thunder. Jab's gonna connect on the Storm. Moon, can you get the chains off? They do. Now the blast off is there with the silence, and it's not gonna be enough. Smoke screen from Natsumi. Mac will survive, and Mac will back off happily.
Here I am.
Just things not going according to plan for FNatic. Adroit can be extremely chuffed at how this is going. They've got everything they could possibly ask for on their cores, on their supports. They've pretty much cleared out the map. You're not seeing the impact of this techies just yet. They really don't feel threatened by any sort of potential from those mines.
Well, Mac, he's gonna find DJ. Takes him out. There's not much else to say about that. He just can zip in and claim the kill easily, as the Roshan has also been started. And Adroit with that Roshan may actually just be able to force high ground. Like, we've got a 20k advantage. It's getting to a ridiculous point now where it's... I don't know if they're even afraid of mines anymore. Like, just pick up a gem.
Yeah, there's no ads on DJ, so it's really relatively safe to go up high ground. Not much to really worry about. Just use your minions to scout out. That's really it. Free Aegis going the way of Adroit should allow them that high ground, but they are taking their time, playing it safe. Don't want to swing it back towards FNatic.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Even Bok is getting very close to having the full Ags up on the clockwork, and that's a real concern. That Ags is actually very, very powerful, that clock. Not that he really needs it, but
Radiant's
it's going to be there very, very soon.
attack.
We do see CML as well. He has poured out a gem. It is just on the courier. Mac, where are you off to? Goes straight off the moon with that orchid. Just cleans him up. No contest, and they also have found Savage trying to push out the bot lane. He's a bit of a sitting duck. They have a defusal on Natsumi. He's still very tanky. Where's the Spirit Vessel? On Bok, and he's not around. Mac will come in. Looks like he has found Ice. Ice still survived for now as Bok. Mac is starting to run out of mana, but eventually the bounty does die, and they continue back onto the Bristleback. Do see the Rolling Thunder coming out from Jams, and now the hookshot comes in from Bok, and with that, the Black Hole comes out from Boomy. He'll have the rest of the control, and I don't know how many times FNatic's been team wiped now. It's been a lot. But they seem to be having a great old time.
Yeah, DJ's just at base, planting his remote mines. Does not have the Ags, so the minefield sign is really not going to do to them. Jam is up and running on Adroit. They go for the lane without any mines as well. A fairly straightforward push here for the Dire.
Our first racks will go down. Unsurprisingly, might I add. It's really nothing surprising going on, as Natsumi will threaten Ice's life a little bit, but will back off. Just going to play it safe. He doesn't want to risk being blown up if he can avoid it.
Whoa, what'd I miss?
There are a lot of remote mines in the mid and the top lane. Again, however, they are level 1 mines. The damage just isn't there.
He looks good, though I can't quite tell how many really are, but it's all about quantity, and if you have enough, even if they're all low damage, numbers will
Sure. We'll see about that, John. You think by this point as well, like, Dota would have had a counter for these mines? Did we have that in Dota 1? Like, we could just kind of drag over them and see how many there were?
I don't recall that because I was like 10 when I was playing techies in Dota 1, so I really can't remember all too well about how that was. Still, I want you to take a look at Dota Plus, Mike. Take a look at that win probability, 100% for Adroit.
Well,
Yet for some reason, we're still here. Why is that? I wonder if there's a hero that makes this happen.
oh, I don't know. I don't know anymore. If this match is anything to prove, like if a pro player can't make techies win a game, shouldn't play it in your pubs, right? Just a nice little PSA. Moon is going to go down. We do have a hook shot in the mid lane where Jabs gets blown up. And do the remote mines kill them off? Well, they do find at least the Aegis. Buybacks to fly out. Mac, that's one stun. That's a lot of damage on Boomy, but not quite enough. But they found a huge kill on the Storm, and now Boomy gonna get chased down, and they will find a secondary kill. Looks like they may even find the Clockwork block. Hook shot not connect, and Moon still controlling Monk. Still Moon is gonna tie back on the Ember, but they do eventually find Bok on the Clockwork. I wonder how much gold they got out of that. Not really that much. 2k. You know, if this was prior to the 7.26 changes, you might have called that worth. But
Radiant's middle tower is under
not so much anymore.
You're gonna need a lot more of that before you can see any reasonable swing. They do lose out as well. Natsumi just cleaning up. I want to make one point clear though. FNatic has won before, so you know they've won a game.
Radiant's
Pro
middle
players
tower
can make
is
it
under
work.
attack.
Just in this case, it's
Just
definitely
don't
not
say
work.
that. People are listening, John. Don't.
Pick techies.
pretend they didn't
FNatic
win.
works. Sometimes it doesn't, like in this case, but they've done it before. It's a 50-50 so far. I mean, they're not out of it yet, so this is a bit preemptive of me. Natsumi finds Ice.
CML will have the backup by Ice. No way out of this. CML's... Who has the gem, in fact? It is going to be a Natsumi.
Just mining up the road.
Okay, I mean,
Classic.
fair enough. I mean, the Roach Pit's the one place you can actually get some decent mines off because the fog does make it so you can't actually clear out the mines whether you have a gem or not. So, there is that. I mean, if Natsumi walks in, DJ is going to have to react rather quick once the status trap does blow up. He has queued up an Aether Lens into the Ags. I think once you get the Ags on the techies, I think he'd become much more viable.
Definitely.
I think that's when it's actually scary to go high ground.
Radiant are scanning.
Until the Ags comes up, I think you're just not concerned at all.
No, that's exactly why Adroit's still feeling fairly confident. Like there's no Ags minefields, no sign to worry about. It's really just basically a non-factor. Need to put too much consideration into that high ground defense. They aren't quite ready to go up though.
Mac jumps in onto the Pango, and Moon does get killed off by Natsumi. Savage, what are you doing out there? Apparently just having a nice old time. He's taking a fair bit of damage, but not quite enough to really mean anything. And Adroit now, do you push high ground? There are no mines, to be fair, so they do have the option to them. There are mines at the top lane, however. Right? They do have a gem. They will use the Eidolons and clear them out. Now, Natsumi will jump on DJ. DJ gonna die. There was a hook shot just in case.
I was dead.
DJ will buy back.
Structures are fortified.
I guess the only thing DJ is going to do is probably put the repair kit on the tower
Radiant's top tower.
if he can get close enough, because Bok really is not allowing it. In fact, Bok does have the full Ags up on the clock. It can be a very, very dangerous clockwork if you do get caught by his hook with the Ags. The hook shot doesn't pop the Ags yet. Just will take out Ice on the bounty. No buyback on him.
Radiant's mid
This will be the secondary racks and probably the third racks going down. It's like, do you call GG after mega creeps or do you keep defending?
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's top barracks.
I mean, there's no reason to stop your bridge.
They are going to get the cogs off onto 23 Savage. He is going to go down. He does have buyback. He will commit it. This will be the last team by the black hole. Straight away from Boomy. He does not want to waste any more time. And Savage already losing half his HP. Mac jumping on top, gets the vortex. That's going to be a dieback on Savage. It's a 2v5 situation. This game is sure to be over. There's the GG call being made at 36 minutes in.
Oh, man.
And there you have it, John. This is why you never pick techies, because you're gonna lose. So don't pick techies in your pumps. Don't do it. John, don't make excuses.
It's a
for techies
50-50. Fnatic won with it before. You know what happened here? The DJ in his infinite wisdom was already preemptively mining the Roche pit, but Adroit did not have the